Why did we just lose it? Oh, okay, no, we didn't lose it.
But what's the OBS? What's the red thing?
Means it's on.
Oh, okay. That means it's on. Hey, this is your thing.
Yeah. Kitty kitty, Vina.
Here you go.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Vina. Vina Troll Slayer.
Yo, yo, yo. I got the notification. What's
Lone
up?
Star in the house. Lone Star in the
How did we go back to it being
Chiffon. Mama cat.
not at 2/3 again?
You touched it.
No, I haven't touched it all day.
I ain't been touching it all day either. I ain't touched it at all. Talk to your son. He jumps on here.
No, he doesn't.
Amy Davis. Ava.
Well,
Tracy
there
Downs.
it is, because when you scoot forward, it's better. You sit forward, sit like a normal person. I look rough. I can't believe you
Peekaboo.
told me it was okay for me to come in here like this.
Peter Pie.
Good sleepyhead. What?
Peekaboo.
Faith and Family Homestead. Will you stop, please?
I'm playing peekaboo.
You're annoying me. What up?
You're just mean. Hi, Amanda, Heather, Pickers, Lona,
Can you
Sandy
try to
S.
Bubba?
Travel,
I need some tea.
Scratch Made Homestead,
Oh, hey, Scratch Made.
Pissy Green.
Prissy.
What'd I say?
Prissy.
I said
Green.
Prissy.
I swear it didn't sound like you put the R in there.
Bubba, 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 mama needs tea, tea, tea. Tea, 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 tea.
Hey, Nicole.
Sink.
Loaded Sink is here.
Charlotte. Is that? I can't
Willis.
say. Willis.
Charlotte Willis.
Simply 7.
Tanya.
Tanya.
Green Hill Acres. Having trouble staying awake.
Mm-hmm.
You?
Mm-hmm.
That's what happens when you wake up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
But I got more done by 5 o'clock in the morning than most people did all day.
I would say by the time that... See? I thought he said that too. Uh-huh. I swear, I was like, what did you just say? Hey, Haas?
Hoss, thanks for coming because they're already picking on me.
Hey, Mary.
I know you'll have my back, Hoss. Against all these females. Hello.
Hello.
It's me.
Does the mama bear have a cup out there over?
You're seriously asking that question?
I am so sorry you're not feeling well, Nicole.
Say again?
Erica's Homestead. That's a new one.
Of course she does. Over. Roger that. Over.
Man, I don't know what that was. Well, they say that's when somebody is dancing on your grave. You ever heard that before? When you get a chill like that. What's up? Oh, lordy, lordy.
You didn't say the password.
There's a large feathered bogey in the pond.
You know what was funny?
We need to call in an airstrike.
When I was trying to touch base with Carol yesterday, she's talking to me on the phone and she's like, blah blah blah, over. I mean, oh.
Just call in the fast movers and burn them down.
That's the joy of our days, picking on Jason. Yeah, see, somebody's walking over your grave. Someone dancing on your grave. See, I'm not the only one. Thought that. A rabbit run over your grave. Go. Anything good for high blood pressure and a new knee gone bad? High blood pressure, there's quite a few. Anything, if you look up a vasodilator, that's what the property that will help with high blood pressure. Lavender's always a good one, because I mean it's lavender, works on everything. When in doubt, use lavender. Basil is actually a really good vasodilator. Marjoram, cypress, there's quite a few. So, but if you look up vasodilators and essential oils, you'll find quite a bit. Let's set my application today to be vendor. Cool. Why, thank you, dear. But there's way more than just that. Like patchouli. I mean, you got all of them. Lang-a-lang's good. Patchouli's good.
With my lang-a-lang. My lang-a-lang.
Thyme, wintergreen. I mean, there's
Time
so many.
keeps on slipping, slipping, slipping.
Lullaby, go to sleep, moo, moo, moo.
Oh, do my lang-a-lang.
Hey, Susan. What's up? Okay, good. Hyped. Alright. TJ's Woodworking Shop.
He likes to play with wood.
Jason, did you ever get your nap?
No.
Are you okay? Amanda, July is coming. Alright, let's see. You can't even, like, that is so disrespectful.
What?
Into the future. Time keeps on slipping, slipping.
Onto my lang-a-lang.
No. Oh, Lordy. Off grid with Brian Kelly. What's up, guys? Do you offer Tamanu oil? No, I'm not even familiar with that. I don't know what that is.
That's when you find a girl named Tammy and a cow. And you steam distill them.
Yes, your order went out on Saturday. And no, you're not being a pest. We're with one vehicle and with all the drama with the truck and everything else. But I got them out on Saturday. It should be there tomorrow. I've already had people tell me, like I sent something to Kitty. She got her thing today.
But
a little bit, she said. Which is crazy because I put it in 2 bags and I wrapped it. It's crazy.
You just didn't wrap it right.
I guess.
That's how babies happen.
Susan was so funny. Karen posted a video of her husband doing a narrative about the weather and it moving over to Florida, and he was asking her to send it to Florida, and Susan put on there, yeah, I'll get my bikini and do my rain dance, and it was just so funny. It made me laugh.
There you go, touching stuff, and that's how stuff gets messed up.
Henry, you should get yours this week too. Let's see. I'm thinking we are to sell tickets to enter a bombing game. What?
I don't know. All right, let's talk about your.
Oh, see, B Lady got her scrubby today. That is so cool. So let's see. I found my. Okay. All right. So go ahead, honey.
Oh, it's your show.
No, go ahead. You were getting ready to say something.
Yeah, get on with your show because Two Family comes on after us.
Okay. Okay. All right. So. All right. Y'all are so sleep deprived. Nah. Okay. So tonight. See, the reason why I went through all of the oils, at least the ones that I use quite frequently, the ones that are not so expensive that they're darn near impractical, the reason why I wanted to go through all those is so that you would be familiar when we start talking about different applications, you would understand why. Robin, will you be talking dosage? Yeah, absolutely we'll be talking dosage.
Take 2 of these and call me in the morning.
Yeah.
I got an owie.
And
right
Suburban, it's okay. If you fall asleep, it's fine. You can hit us on the replay later if you need to. Bears sure are grouchy when they didn't hibernate the winter over. Well, there wasn't a winter to hibernate. Where? Oh.
Stupid ants.
Yeah, but it's already...
My hands are almost back to normal. It's almost time to give me my...
Okay, I give it back to you.
My handcuff. My finger cuff. The old ball and chain on it.
You're an...
I'm a what?
Acetaminophen. That's what you are.
I'm not a major pain.
Major pain. Okay, so today, rather than talk about like health implications and stuff, we're going to talk about how these oils can be practical in your garden, and more specifically, how they can be useful in the biggest garden pest there is out there. Now, most of you have probably watched Jason's Aphids video, and I would be lying if I said before tonight I had watched it. But I went to go back and watch it just to make sure that there wasn't a whole lot of too much repetitive stuff, but at the same time I do want to kind of cover some things because there may be people that they're not interested in just watching all about the aphids. They just want to know how to fix them or whatever, different learning styles, that kind of thing. So basically I'm going to do kind of the same format that I normally do. Of course, I'm not going to worry about history, but you know, one of the things that Jason covered in his original video, and some people don't really know this, is that aphids covers a huge spectrum. There's like, what did you say, 4,400, over 4,000 different species of aphids. But only a small portion of those are really harmful to plants, and it's about 200, 250, somewhere in that range. But we say it's only a small portion, but when they get to going, they can tear up your plants. So basically, I thought it was really interesting that one of the slang names of, or the names that you can kind of bounce back and forth with, is that they call them plant lice. And I thought that was so, like, if you really think about how lice are in your hair, and you think about how that would be applied to plants, I thought that, I mean, it really gives you a good idea of how invasive and how prolific these bugs are. So they're not something you want in your garden. And just like Jason said in his video before, the reason why a lot of people focus on this one is because it attacks tomato plants like crazy. And everybody in every garden, you always grow tomatoes. Everybody's always got at least one tomato plant. And the aphids are attracted to the yellow of the blossoms, and then they just totally ravage your plants. They don't go after the actual blooms. What they do is they get into the leaves, into the stem, and they go and just attack basically the sap that's running through the veins of the leaves. Now I've seen a lot of people, you start to pay attention to everybody's Facebook that does gardening at this point, and there's a lot of people that are fighting this right now. Have we seen any activity yet? Okay. So, one of the other things that Jason didn't cover in his video is another reason why aphids are not good, besides the fact that they'll just totally ransack your plants, is they also can carry diseases that will infiltrate the host plant as well and can kill it that way. So not only can it just completely drain your plant dry, it can also, if it doesn't do that, it can still infect it with stuff that can kill the plant as well. So there's a lot of different ways to get rid of ants. I've never heard of milk. Have you heard of milk killing aphids? That they're allergic to that? I'm gonna have to look into that.
But that's gonna be, if we get them, I'm definitely gonna try it.
Yeah, we'll try it, especially now that you've got
I have
access to some raw milk. That would be even better.
I'll just bring some of the bucket milk.
So we'll have to try that. I have not heard that before, but we'll definitely see about checking that. Obviously, one of the major things is physical removal, trying to pick them off. But, that's very labor intensive and can be, it could be an all day affair depending on how many plants you have. And then there's always the chance of either damaging the plant, trying to pick off the bugs, or not getting them all. Another one that they tell you is water pressure. You can spray them, and that can knock some of them loose. But the problem with that is you can do damage, because the aphids will go after the younger plants. They'll go after the older plants, but they like new growth as well. What is wrong with you? What is that face?
I'm just watching the chat. I'm trying not to be distracting. You always said I'm distracting.
You're distracting like this.
I'm just playing with my beard.
So anyway, the water pressure, while it makes sense that it would knock them off, will probably do more damage than it will good. Eradicate aphids on milkweed using milk. Okay, well, we'll have to look at that. So then another one, which is the tried and true everybody talks about, is soap and water, right? So basically what happens when you mix about a teaspoon or so into a quart of water, mix it around, and then you spray the plants. Now the thing is when you spray these plants, you have to cover them. You got to get the tops of them, you got to get underneath them, you got to make sure that you cover everything. And what happens is, as the soap dissolves, as it sprays over it, it's dissolving the waxy coating of the aphid, and then it eventually will dehydrate them and kill them. But the problem is that most forms of soap not only will kill the aphids, they will also possibly kill the beneficial insects as well. So this is one, it's kind of and I've seen people use, instead of dish soap, they've tried baby shampoo, because it's a little bit more gentle than dish soap. So sometimes using baby shampoo can be a little bit more effective and not as detrimental to your beneficial insects. Neem oil and I saw somebody on our Facebook group saying something about using neem oil. Have you ever done anything with neem oil, honey?
No, because it's just like soap and water.
Right. Basically, what it does, you dilute the neem oil in water, and you spray that over, and again, it basically does the same thing. But it won't. What it does is more or less deters them instead of keeping them away. It has the same kind of thing where it just kind of they don't want to be around it. Now there's also other things like you can do. Karen says, for the love of all that is holy, do not use a hand sprayer. Get an air pressure pump sprayer. Hand cramps. Yeah, I can imagine that would be rough. Now, you can also do beneficial insects like we've talked about with ladybugs, lacewings, parasitic wasps, all that different kind of stuff. Birds, there's different birds that'll, naturally go after the aphids. Natural repellents like garlic and onions will do that. Flowers, you can attract them away from your plants, like by planting zinnias or dahlias, anything like that would be more of an aphid buffet, but plant it away from your vegetable garden. DE, I've seen people try to use DE on aphids as well. I've even seen there was a recipe for dried banana peels, coffee grounds, and eggshells. You put all that together in a bottle, and then you fill it up with water, shake it, and spray it on there. So that's another thing that you can try as well. But now, here's where we're going to talk about the essential oils. Dun, dun. Freaky. So, most essential oils that we're going to talk about are more repellents. They're not going to be like insecticidal. They're going to just be something that is going to keep them from actually coming onto your plants. So they're going to be more of a preventative as opposed to a reactive kind of thing. Oils like cedarwood, peppermint, and spearmint, these are all oils that will kind of repel the aphids. Lavender is one. The aroma, just like how the onions and the garlic aroma repels the aphids, lavender will do the same thing. If you just put like 5 to 10 drops in a spray bottle and then fill it up with water, now make sure that you're shaking your bottle real good, because as we all know, water and oil don't mix. So you want to make sure that you spray it up real good. Shake it up real good, and then you can spray it. You're going to want to do this once or twice a day. Another option, you can actually plant lavender close by, and that also works kind of like companion gardening, to where you can kind of keep that aroma there so that it keeps them away from your plants. Also, wild orange oil. We just covered this one not too long ago. Wild orange is fairly inexpensive. And it has so many applications. With wild orange, you can take a tablespoon of the oil, which seems like a lot, but you put it in a gallon of water. And what you can do is you spray the tops and the bottoms. But you want to make sure, like, you know how you were talking about with how all the leaves will curl, some of the leaves will curl. They suggest that you can take those leaves and go ahead and pluck them, because it's going to be hard to make sure that you get all of the aphids that are on those leaves. So you'll want to pull those off and just spray all the remaining leaves. Now, we've talked about this before. I saw somebody say something about lemon juice. Lemon, also wild orange, these are both citrus oils. They are both cold pressed. They are not steam distilled. And what does that mean?
It means they're going to burn you up.
Why?
Because they react to the sun.
They're phototoxic. Now, your plants are not immune to that. So that means you need to spray these mixtures either in the evening, on a cloudy day, any kind of application where it's going to be not in the middle. You don't want to spray it in the middle of the day when the sun is at full, you don't want that. Because what can happen is it can actually scald the plant if you're in direct you just don't want to scald the plants and burn them up. Another one is there's a mixture that you can use. And I'm going to go through all 4 of the oils first. Let's see, can you use reverb? Okay. So rosemary is the first one. Rosemary will actually repel flies, fleas, mosquitoes, that kind of insect. Peppermint works really good even by itself for aphids, also spiders, a whole bunch of different applications for peppermint. Peppermint's one of those that you can use for just about any insect pest. Thyme, what?
I wonder if I set up something in the milking barn to diffuse rosemary, if we would see a difference.
I think you would have to use a huge amount because of how open the area is. Yeah. That's just like when we start to milk our own, because obviously we can't do it with these guys, but I really do want to try fennel oil and see if it helps with milk production. Because this guy that that Jason's been working with, he's bringing in brewer's yeast, which I've heard that before because they use it in lactation cookies for women who are breastfeeding. So it makes sense that they would bring in the brewer's grain for the cows to help with lactation.
We can talk to him to see if put it on one cow.
Well, the problem, you would have to do it on one that's not going into the milk supply. Because you don't want to contaminate the milk supply if it passes through into the milk. That's what I'm worried about.
We could put it in one of the bucket cows.
Yeah. So that's the only thing I was thinking about. Thyme works on any kind of biting insects, which this is a biting insect, right? Because it sucks, but it punctures.
It
right?
punctures. It has like a needle in it.
Right.
And then the straw comes in.
Right. And then clove oil repels flying insects. So you can see if you put all of these 4 together, it kind of works as a general anti-insect, insect repellent kind of spray. You would just take 10 drops of each, put it in there, mix it all together. Just make sure you shake it up really good. Spray your leaves. Again, the cool thing about this one is it will kill, not only will it kill adults, but also hit the nymph stage, eggs, all of that. It'll kill it all. Aphids do suck. Like, they suck. They really do, don't they? They can kill a plant quick. I mean, it does not take long. You can one day walk out there and it's kind of okay, and then the next day it's horrible. Chefs for her. There's a question going around whether or not you should put peppermint oil on embedded ticks. Okay, so the argument that I've heard with that is that physically when ticks back out, they actually,
That's my mommy.
when they back out, I guess they regurgitate some and put it back into the skin. I don't know about the entomology of a tick, so I'm not really sure.
What's up? Okay.
So I've seen the effectiveness of peppermint oil and how it works and backs out the tick. I'm not sure about the regurgitation part, but I imagine when you pull it out, it's probably not much different. Right? So
okay.
I think the good thing about it is that
you don't call to talk to me anymore.
The way that the tick is being pulled back out makes a difference. And I think that if you can use something that's going to make it less traumatic, you run less of a risk of part of the head being stuck still in the skin.
Okay. Okay. Okie dokie. Nah. Okay. All right, bye.
Okay.
That was your mother-in-law.
So
She wants you to call her tomorrow.
I'm not having this conversation. So another thing when you're using these oils, make sure not to just take the oil and put it directly onto the plant because the plants are sensitive and this is so concentrated, it will burn up the plant. So you want to make sure that you're diluting all of these oils. You don't want it to be so strong that the effectiveness of the oil itself will kill the plant. You don't want that. A couple of other things you can use. I've seen a lot of experimentation with tea tree oil, like tea tree and lavender mixed together, tea tree and neem oil mixed together. You can use like lemon and peppermint, just peppermint by itself. If you make a mixture of lemon and peppermint, again, remember that the lemon is also phototoxic, so you'll want to make sure that you spray at the appropriate times with that. But those have been known to kill the aphids on contact. But again, the problem with that is you have to make sure that you effectively spray down your plants, because if you miss some, it's not doing much good. Another good mixture is peppermint, lavender, and wild orange. Take all three of those heavy hitters, put them together. And then the other thing too that you can do is put a little bit of the dish soap in there as well. So you can do the dish soap with some peppermint, dish soap with lemon. And the reason I'm telling you guys all of these different mixtures is because just like how the body can get used to the same dosage of oil all the time, the same regimen all the time, when you're trying to do something that's reactive, you want that predator or whatever it is to keep guessing. You don't want to keep using the same thing over again. All of the stuff that I've Googled and looked at, people will say, well, it's effective the first 2 or 3 days, but then after that, then it's not effective anymore. And what I would say to that is keep them guessing. Try, for a couple of days using the orange and peppermint, and then try a couple of days of using the lavender and the peppermint. That kind of thing. So you put those things all together and try and kind of keep the aphids guessing, then I think you have a pretty good regimen for...
Well, that's the number one rule in pest control.
Right. You don't want to keep using the same thing over and over, again, because it's not going to be as effective. So, anyway.
Why is Simply crying?
Because she's not feeling good. Her eyes are probably watering. Yeah.
Teresa's picking on me again.
Well, you are exhausted. You have been phasing out the entire time while I've been talking. You're sitting there and you're like... So, I mean...
Well, I'm sorry.
It's fine. It's just... let's see. Yeah, everybody has been going back and forth with this whole tick thing about whether it's good to use. And I liked what Nicole said. Instead of putting the oil directly on the tick, they actually just put it around the tick so that the smell itself. And the thing is, I mean, think about when you've smelled peppermint oil before, it does not take much to clean you out. So imagine that little bitty tick, and that would be rough. So let's see. So it's not a good idea to mix them all and use them. I wouldn't mix them all at the same time.
What was Scratch Made Homestead talking about?
I don't know. I would not mix them all together at the same time, because you want to have the effectiveness go back and forth of being, you want to keep them going back and forth and guessing on what you're spraying, because after so much, it loses its effectiveness. So if you do all of that, it's not going to work very well, is I guess the best way to put it. Oh, there's Green Gables.
Scratch Made, what are you talking about unsubbed? I completely cannot follow that in the conversation.
I don't know. Hi, Mama and Faith. Tessie's here. That's cool. Green Gables, I think I sent you something in the mail you should be getting in the next day or two. So does anybody have any questions? These are going to be a little bit quicker of classes because, I mean, there's not going to be a big, huge discussion about, what it is, how it's made, where it came from, and all that stuff. What's the best oils to use in a rinse cycle for deterring lavender, peppermint, eucalyptus, tea tree? Okay, so tea tree is a good one. I wouldn't use lemongrass. I would probably do peppermint and tea tree. But one thing I would suggest you get pretty quickly would be, there's Arbor Vitae is a good one, and also cedarwood is a really good one. There's actually a blend that we have called Terra Shield, and it has a bunch of different oils mixed together to make a blend, and that's the one that Jason uses when he goes hunting, and it works really well for him. The only thing with essential oils is their effectiveness goes down fairly quickly as far as topically goes. So the thing is that when you put that on, after about 30 minutes, its effectiveness starts to decline pretty quickly. So at 30 minutes, you're at like 85%, 90% covered. You get to 45 minutes, it's starting to drop down, and you get to about an hour, you really need to be applying before then. Green Gables wants to know what oil we're talking about. We're actually talking about what oils help to get rid of aphids in your garden. We talked about some of the conventional things. And the reason why I like essential oils as an alternative is because a lot of these other applications can really threaten the health of your plant. And the only real threat with the essential oils is if you spray them at the inappropriate time of the day, to be able to where you're going to scald your plants. That's the only real huge issue that you can have with the essential oils.
Is Farmer Meemaw still in here?
I don't know. I know she wasn't feeling well. She's still having a hard time with
healing.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Scratch Made was talking to her, and then all of a sudden he just came out, put across and said unsubbed. I'm trying to figure out what that was about.
Does anybody have any idea what that conversation was? Because the chat's moving quick enough that it's hard for us to focus on. Let's see. When it gets really hot, aphids take a toll on our roses. Yes. Yeah, they can really make a mess. And that's what I thought was, let's see. Um, you know, we use essential oils in our laundry, but more for things like um, grease stains. Melaleuca or tea tree oil is really good for that. There's a couple that are good for that. Um, but the thing is, as far as the effectiveness of it being in the actual clothing and being able to help with that, I think you would be better off to you can get a really small pump spray in the travel section in like in a Walmart or grocery store or anything like that. They have the small ones. And you can put that spray all over your clothes and stuff and see if that helps. That seems to be the best way that we've worked. Like when we've done the Terra Shield, we put it in water, so it's already been diluted, but then we put it inside one of the small spray bottles and we take it with us and just shake it up right before you spray it, and we put it, all over our exposed skin or whatever, and that seems to work really well. Um, Let's see. Just I think she meant she got unsubbed from you. Happened to a lot. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of that.
I'm just wondering why they're not still here then.
I don't know. That's fine. YouTube. Yeah, YouTube's been crazy. Things keep going up and down. 60 new subs today, so it's all good. That would be nice. Have to throw this out. Avon's original skin so soft is great at repelling parasites.
Good for
skin
sand
so soft.
fleas too.
Yeah, it's good for that. It's good for mosquitoes. And again, part of it's because it's the oil. It's an oil. And then the smell of it, the aroma of it is just not very appealing to most of the flying.
Marine Corps drill instructors wear it at Paris Island.
Flying pests. So, alright, anybody have any other questions? So we'll be able to finish in time for 2 family. Yeah, I can only imagine turning around the next day having 60 new subs after a day. Yeah, the oil itself, for one, provides a little bit of a barrier. The first time I saw that emoticon, I thought it was somebody with a lip, like a piercing with a chain, because I can't see it from here real far. It freaked me out.
We're going to be doing ours tomorrow, Wholesome Roots.
What?
Our 10 reasons
why
why
the 10 reasons, yeah. Used it many times in search and rescue. Yeah, I mean, I would be interested to see what the actual ingredients. My mom sold Avon, so I mean, we were brought up. Oh, look, even the Hollywood Marines used it. That's all your fault. Okay, let's see.
Yep, and you taught her how to pinch somebody and instigated it, and now she just busted your chops. See, they turn on you. Quickly, they will turn on you. They will turn on you.
Wow. Keep my son in your prayers. Absolutely. No problem, Ema. Make sure Kitty adds it to the list. Yeah, Jason needs to sleep. Let's see. 6 videos at 52 subs. Woohoo! Way to go. I think her name is Angela. Anybody else? Jason, you got anything to add?
Aphids are bad.
Aphids are bad. Aphids are bad.
Aphids are bad. No, right now I'm still dumbfounded by Scratch Made. Came in there talking to Meemaw and it screamed out unsubbed and now they're gone.
Thought nothing can get a rain down except for no sleep.
I'm not down. I'm still here.
You're just exhausted. No problem, Amy.
I could stay up another 24 hours.
Wouldn't be worth much.
You wouldn't want to be around me.
I know it's not Hollywood. I know my geography. But that's what my husband lovingly calls you guys from the other side of the country. Aphids are hard to spot. They blend so well in the greenery. Yeah, they do. Yeah.
It's raining here too.
Yeah, and we've got rain probably for the next 2 or 3 days, hopefully. Getting ready for a trip and my stomach's full of butterflies. Yes, for abscess tooth. The ones that I've always used. Let's see, is Kitty in here? Because Kitty used Helichrysum with her mixture that she used, but I always use clove, cinnamon, and peppermint together. Because between being completely antibacterial and all of that stuff, it also is so strong that it's very good at pain relief. So you add a couple drops of each of those into some water and swish it around like a mouthwash for as long as you can take it, and it works pretty well. I've always had a really good result with that. Yeah, you can try oil pulling, use clove. Clove itself, I mean, is definitely the number one. But like I said, when you take clove, cinnamon, and peppermint, put it together, it's a very strong, because all 3 of those oils are basically considered hot oils. The peppermint, only because of how strong it is, kind of has a little bit of because of how cold it gets, the burning effect. So he's just jealous that we have perfect weather. Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
But I want to say, okay, Kitty, Homestead Tessie is asking about the abscess tooth, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't you say that you used Helichrysum as well with yours? Clove oil and peroxide. Yeah, I mean, clove, like I said, clove is the number one. There you go. 10 clove, 10 peppermint, 3 Helichrysum, 8 frankincense. That was the other one. And she actually directly applied it to the abscess, as opposed to diluting it and swishing it around. So, yeah. Jason actually uses tea tree toothpaste, and he likes that. That's actually really good for his oral health as well. Yeah, now Helichrysum, I'm not gonna lie, guys, the whole reason I haven't covered this oil is because it is very expensive. It's a little 5 milliliter bottle, and it costs a lot of money. It's like 100 and something. I mean, it's expensive. But the thing is, it doesn't take much. When do you decide to see a dentist? I mean, different people's pain tolerances are different. I mean, I've never had an abscess. I've had issues with oral pain, but never an abscess. So that's something I've been fortunate as of yet to deal with. But I know Nicole has a lot of experience with oral health issues, and so she's definitely one to ask about that. And like I said, Kitty, I knew Kitty had the same kind of issue, and we had talked a few things, and yeah, I don't have insurance and my teeth suffer. But you know, the thing is, you,
Bye, Meemaw. Love you.
you definitely, the oil pulling helps a lot with oral health. And wholesome roots, you know, putting some of those oils in your remineralization toothpaste, I'm sure helps with the oral health overall. Teresa said, I've been known to pull out my bum teeth. I would not second guess that at all. I'm sure she's tough. She's a tough cookie. When the root breaks off, then it's dentist time. Whew. I don't know. That's kind of a little too late at that point. Peppermint hasn't helped. Have you, Susan, have you tried clove? Because clove and cinnamon both are pretty hot oils. Let's see. Yeah, Jeff had a bad infection. Face swelled 24 hours, made it go down. He used it for 4 days. There you go.
I remember that.
Yeah.
Go check for eggs, Jeff.
Bad tooth vice grips. Ugh. Ouch.
And lock up the chicken. Take out the trash.
Yeah. That was one of the things when Nicole was going through her stuff was clove and cinnamon, man. Between those two, it's more nerves than tooth. But again, Susan, that's the same. I mean, it helps with the pain. Those are analgesics, so they're going to help with that kind of stuff. I mean, I can't tell you. There have been times where I'm like, well, this is what it says to do. I don't know if it's going to work. And then I put it in there and I'm like, oh, I feel so much better. Yes, clove bud and clove, the same thing, yes. It's got so much fever. See, and that's another thing, Susan. Those two oils alone are both antibacterial, and they're going to help with any kind of infections. You know, they're antiseptic, so they're going to help get the bad bacteria because you've already got an issue, and then any kind of bacteria that's still in your mouth is going to make things worse. So you would be killing that bacteria as well. $159 to pull one tooth. Heck no, I did it for free.
Night, Sheps.
I chew on the clove.
Yeah.
Like on an actual clove? What?
Nothing.
Yeah. Ugh. Infected tooth. You really don't want to mess with that. I've been using turmeric. You know, turmeric is another one of those that's like lavender, and it seems like you can use it for almost anything. Anybody else? We got about 5 minutes before Two Family goes on. Anybody else have any questions? Also, if you have bad mouth pain, steep a tea bag and then bite down on the tea bag. Helps suck out some of the infection. There you go. Huh. For some reason, turmeric makes my jaw and my gums hurt. They wanted $2,000. Yowza. Oh, to fill it. Yeah. Ugh. All right. Well, looks like I don't have any major questions.
Last call for questions. Last call.
I've never heard of that for a tea bag. Yeah, and I could see that if you take both of those and put it together, clove oil on a hot tea bag would probably work really well too.
That's funny, Nicole.
I love Nicole. She's so funny. Last call for alcohol. Yeah, last call for questions, guys.
So more than likely, I will be moving while we're waiting on to see if there's any more questions. I will be moving in the garden to earlier in the afternoon instead of trying to do it at 5:30. I'm probably gonna move it to 1, 2 o'clock and not do a mid-afternoon break that day.
Okay.
Because I'll probably once we start milking full time, I won't be here at that time. I'll be milking.
Green Gables, I'll send you a message and let you know. Vic's on a tick. He calls an Uber. That's funny. All right.
All right, guys. Well, you got about 3 minutes until Two Family comes on.
Everybody take a pee break. Fill up your cup.
Fill up your cup. Take a pee break. I said pee. And y'all go on over there.
Or you can do it that way. Wholesome Roots wrote it down. I just can't. I mean, yeah, you put the. Well, the only thing though, Wholesome Roots, she's got a little bit. She's got a little bit of starter tea in the bag, so Jennifer, you'll want to include that in the when you're making the when you put the SCOBY. Now the thing is, and this is why I was going to type it out. When you do your tea, you want your tea and your sugar while it's hot, mix it together, and then it needs to be at room temperature before you introduce the SCOBY and the bacteria, because it will kill it if it's not. So you got to make sure that you do that. All right.
Okay, so B Lady asks how many cows we have. We have 4.
Yeah.
But I am now working for a dairy straight down the road because he needed help because his other dairy manager. Well, I don't even get into that.
Yeah. But anyway.
But there are 80, well, it's probably 86 now that need to be 86 head of cows that need to be milked.
Oh yeah, cause she.
Because we had one giving birth this morning, and so with a commercial dairy, as soon as they give birth, they take the calf off of them, bottle feeder, which I don't necessarily agree with.
Because of the colostrum.
But yeah, so. But the nice thing about that, if she gave birth shortly after we left,
then she has all night with the calf.
then she'll have, she had all day, all afternoon with the calf. So that calf probably got a good bit of the colostrum today. And that's if the guy that is milking paid attention and snatched the calf away from her. If he didn't, then that calf is still with the cow. Yes, Blaze goes with me. It's him and I. We tag team it.
Let me tell you, it's pretty cool to watch them together. It's pretty. I think it's doing a lot for their relationship as well, because they get to cut up and enjoy their time together while they're there. So.
Yeah. So, but we Blaze and I milked 85 head of cow at 4 o'clock this morning. We were pretty much done by.
Well, no, it wasn't 4. It was like 5.
Well, I mean, we got up. We got up at 4.
Right,
and then
because the guy didn't get there.
Yeah, got there. So. But
yeah,
anyway,
so
we were
you guys
done.
Started at about 5, and you were done by 8.
We were.
So it was about 3.
Yeah, we were done milking by 7:30.
Okay.
Because it takes about 30 minutes to clean up afterwards.
Okay.
Because I'm That's one of the things that I'm particular with, even with mine here, is a very clean milking barn.
So some of the milk brought in stores has colostrum in it. That I don't know about, but I would imagine so. It's all machine. They literally have 6 stanchions on either side set up at an angle, and then they have feed buckets in front of them that are fed by a motor from a silo.
If
And
I was hand milking 85 cat a cow, my
Yeah,
hands
you
would be
would be-
stuck like this.
yeah. But it's a very efficient. They have it set up really well. I love the way. I mean, if you have to do it big like that, they're doing it pretty efficiently and it not being like a hazard as far as health or anything. They take the solution just like how we do to clean the udder. They actually use. I thought this was cool. They use like a sprayer, like how when you put out a spray, they use that, and I thought that was pretty interesting to be able to spray them, and that way you're getting an effective spray over them to make sure that it gets.
All right, well, it's time. Go over there to Two Family. We'll talk all about the new milking job on Saturday because I got some pretty cool stories. And you guys, remember, be kind to one another because, I mean, being ugly to each other just doesn't pay off. You never know what the other person is going through. So be kind to one another and do your part to help take care of this planet because we only got one. Y'all have a wonderful time going over there to Two Family, and you have a wonderful night, and we will see you tomorrow at the afternoon break.
Night, guys.
Bye.